have to kind of. I tried to put on a good face to start the show, but I have to admit I'm pretty pissed off tonight. And so I'm gonna give it a go here. Um, but my God, Alex Anthopoulos, you got to do something. You guys are killing me. The Atlanta Braves now dropped their, I believe it's their fourth game in a row. Looking at 2-8 in their last 10. Um, Guys, the Atlanta Braves right now are 11 games back in the National League East. They are 7 games back of the wild card, which means right now this 27-34 record has them closer to the Pittsburgh Pirates in the wild card standings than it does actually making the wild card. I mean, can we get some players in here? I mean, right now we are looking at left field being played by Alex Verdugo. Alex Verdugo. Come on. I mean, this guy, he first of all, he's been terrible his whole career. Let's not even try to like fool anybody. I mean, right now, Alex Verdugo right now has a 79 WRC plus, a 79. And that'd be all fine and dandy if he was actually playing good defense, but he's playing terrible defense. I mean, how can you explain it? His defensive value right now on Fangraphs is -3. This is a negative WAR player on the season. His OPS right now is sitting at 629. And let's just look at the past history here. Was this a good guy to bring in? You've got in the last 3 years a guy who had an 83 WRC plus last year, a 98 the year before that, and then he was actually above average in 2022 with a 102. So I mean, he's obviously been declining and getting worse. But you're going to bring him in to be a mainstay in your lineup, holding down a corner outfield position at that. I mean, you can do with a player in center field that maybe doesn't bring you a good enough bat, but brings a good glove. Of course, Verdugo's doing neither, not playing good defense, not hitting. And then at shortstop, you come into the season with Orlando Arcia starting, who was awful last year. And now you've gotten rid of him. He's off in Colorado now playing with the Rockies. But you've got Nick Allen starting, playing every day at shortstop. If your lineup was producing solidly, you could handle with one guy because Nick Allen can pick it at short, and that's totally great. I'm glad that we actually have a shortstop that can play defense, which Orlando Arcia could not. I mean, he was awful with the bat and in the field. So at least Nick Allen's holding one side down, playing good defense. But this is a guy with a 565 OPS. I mean, that's awful. Peter, you could probably do that. I mean, he's got a 63 WRC plus this year. I mean, this is 2 starting players with a 63 and a 79 WRC plus. Not to mention in center field, you've got Michael Harris with a 583 OPS, swinging at everything. Dude never has taken a walk. He's walking like 4% of at-bats this year. I mean, this guy is awful. You've got back to Nick Allen. Maybe they're just hoping that Nacho Alvarez. That's what somebody in the Discord said to me today. They're like, "Oh, well, they're probably just waiting for Nacho Alvarez, a guy with 8 games of experience at the major league level. 8 games. I mean, 32 plate appearances. You're going to rely on this guy? You're supposed to be a contending team? I mean, we are wasting prime time in the careers of Ronald Acuna and Matt Olson, Austin Riley. I mean, we're just wasting this window of opportunity. We went a decade where we were awful in the 2010s. But you know what? These guys are not getting younger. Contracts are getting closer to the end. Are the Atlanta Braves going to extend Ronald Acuna when it becomes time? I don't know. We didn't bring back Max Fried. We didn't bring back Freddie Freeman. Matt Olson's not getting younger. What is he, 31, 32 this year? I mean, this is just ridiculous. They're closer to the Pittsburgh Pirates than they are to making the playoffs. Somebody give me a glimmer of hope here. Somebody, Ty, talk me off the ledge right now.
This is the same, mostly the same team that was supposed to be a contender for the division. Like they don't have a single player batting over 275 right now besides Drake Baldwin. I don't know what's going on. Like, even when Strider has come back, he hasn't.
Can we move Drake Baldwin to left field? Can he play left field?
He can play it better than Verdugo. If he can
they
catch
talked
the ball.
about doing it last year in the minor leagues. Put him in left field. Let Sean Murphy play every day behind the plate. At least he's got a 125 WRC plus.
Yeah.
So then you got 2 bats in the lineup every day. Go ahead.
Waiting for a guy like Nacho Alvarez to come up and save your team when you have Matt Olson, Austin Riley on the corners, and like why is that the goal? Like, why is that the decision that we're making? Why are we not going out and buying somebody? You're in a division with the Mets. Like, the Mets are going to spend money. You need to go do that. Like, I know that, the Jays just gave a $500 million contract to Guerrero, and that doesn't sound like Bo is going to move, but they need to do something. Like, the Braves are going to go down as a team with the best lineup who performs maybe the worst this year. Like, the Orioles have a lot of question marks, but the Braves are not supposed to have a lot of question marks. This team is supposed to be stud on every corner, and it just doesn't look like that. Michael Harris is I'm getting close to dropping him in dynasty leagues. Like,
I know it's terrible. Like, I don't know what to say, man. Like, we're so far behind the Mets. There is just basically, in my opinion, there is no hope for this season. You had a 10-4 lead today going into the ninth inning, a 10-4 lead, and your bullpen just blows it. I mean, with a guy named Blewett, mind you. I mean, that's not portending anything in the future to happen. This guy sucks. They cut him after the game. Raisel Iglesias was terrible again.
I was surprised that they even signed a guy with that last name. I feel like the optics and the vibes alone were not good.
Oh.
Like, you don't sign a guy with the last name sucks just
No.
because of how it looks. Like,
I mean, the Pirates used to have a guy named Bob Walk as their pitcher, and he was actually decent. But I mean, we're going back a ways to dig that out. But I mean, come on, guys, this is absurd, and I don't know. Peter, talk a little bit, because I got to calm down here.
I mean, I think I'm the wrong person to talk Pan to if you're trying to calm down. It's gonna be really hard not to sound like a snarky Mets fan, but I mean. It's very confusing. I mean, I picked, we talked about it. I picked the Braves to win the division this year. It's just to see what the Braves have become. It's shocking. Like, it's honestly, this could be a Will Pond Mets team. Like, you guys are signing guys off the street who aren't very good. Like, to bring back to the New York Power Hour show, you said Trent Grisham shouldn't have been on the roster. Well, the guy that the Yankees got rid of to keep Trent Grisham is now on your team. So, like, I really don't know what the Braves are doing. They got to fire their GM. Like, he's whatever they're doing isn't working. Like, I don't know.
I don't think we're going to fire Alex Anthopoulos. It's too close to being winning the World Series. Now, here's the thing. They fired the third base coach the other day. Like, he was the guy that was the solution. Get rid of the third base coach. Let's bring Freddie Gonzalez back in. Now, part of me wonders and welcome to the show, JC. I don't know if you've caught any of the start, but I've been on quite the monologue tonight.
I'm not surprised after the way today's
I'm in
game
a
went.
little
I thought
bit of
you
a
would be.
mood. But bringing in Freddie Gonzalez as the third base coach, I have to wonder if that is going to hint at maybe Brian Snitker being on the hot seat, because Freddie Gonzalez has a history as a manager, both with the Atlanta Braves before succeeding Bobby Cox, and also before that or after that he went and was the manager in Florida for a little bit with the Miami Marlins. So, if this season continues on the trajectory that it's on, could we see Brian Snitker let go? Mind you, this is 4 years after winning the World Series. And then Freddie Gonzalez slid in as like an interim manager. Is that something that you guys would buy into, or do you see that happening? Ty, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm kind of one of those guys that when teams start firing managers, I don't know. Like, yeah, do we need to shake things up? Sure, but people need to play better, I think, is what it's coming down to.
That's always the
Like,
case when managers get fired.
It is, and it's a bummer because Snicker has been great for them, but it might kind of need to be like a fear thing. Like, we need to absolutely shake this up, and your manager's gone, nobody is safe, and I want them to do something big, and if that big thing is not going to be go sign somebody, then it's going to have to be to fire somebody.
When does Acuna's contract come up? He has a while, right?
He's got a while still. Let me pull it up and I'll tell you the exact. He's got a few more years. Let's see, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Because I don't know if it's the media overblowing it, but there has seemed to have been some unsteadiness between him and the Braves. I can't think of a player on the Braves right now. Maybe Schallenbacher, but at least with the bat that you can get a nice haul for. Is that someone you might consider?
They've got him for 3 more years after this, so he's got a long time still on his deal. They're not going to do anything with Ronald Acuna. Like, they're not giving up. I mean, they've got too many talented players to just give up and rebuild.
This team is not supposed to look like this.
No.
The thing about the Braves is they have on paper still the roster that you look at and you go, okay, this is a serious contender, should be one of the better teams in the NL. Because, you run through the names, even with guys not playing as well as they have been, you still have one of the better rosters in baseball. And it's one of those things where I know they're 27-33, they're way behind. They're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. Is it too big of a shakeup at this point in the year to fire a manager who's been playing significantly winning baseball for how long has it been? 8 years, 7 years in a row now, since the Braves had a losing season. My thought is I think that might be too big of a move. That's my only thought.
You got to shake things up.
Okay. Call me, this is baseball. This is fantasy related to a certain extent, but would moving Sean Murphy not make sense? He's a guy who I feel like is on he provides value to teams with his defense, and his bat's been not good recently, but it was really good when the season started.
Well, he's got a 125 WRC plus this year.
Right, but it hasn't been good the last like a few weeks, but it was really great when he first got healthy. But that's a guy who's plus defense and capable bat is going to be a valuable player around the league. And I think Drake Baldwin has kind of been the guy who's been like the energy inducer in this team recently. And he's been doing it on the defensive end the last couple of days as well, which has been, I think, one of those things that's like, maybe that's an opportunity to get another impact guy at a more needed position to try to upgrade the roster. That's like the one name to me that feels movable.
And I'm, diving into some stats again. Ozzie Albies, should we sound some alarms on Ozzie Albies? 3 out of the last 4 years. You're talking about 3 out of the last 4 years, he's had a WRC plus of below 100. This year it's at 83, last year 95, and in 2022 it was 94. The outlier out of that group is in 2023, he had a 125. But 3 out of 4 years now, he's below average hitter.
I think that might be closer to what he is, though. I almost think there might be too much helium given to his name at this point in his career. He's not the player he was in 2019, 2021.
No, the stats are bearing it out.
Yeah, but I almost think it's like that's what he is. You kind of have to accept that. The idea of Ozzie Albies as this star second baseman probably isn't really who he is. But isn't he hitting like 7th?
Yeah,
he's 6th
right
or 7th most days. I think he's typically batting after Ozuna, who's in the 5 spot. So
right.
But the bottom half of this lineup, you've got Albies, Verdugo, Nick Allen, and Michael Harris. None of those guys are doing anything at the plate. And before you hopped on, I mentioned that last year there was talks in the minors of putting Drake Baldwin into trying him out in the outfield, particularly in left field. So I'm wondering, can he do that?
Probably could. He's athletic enough. I don't see why it's a complete. It's not like Verdugo's this incredible, amazing.
No, he's
defensive
negative.
outfielder.
He's a negative fielder at this stage.
I don't know. At least he provides. He's hitting 320 nearly. It's you have to find room for the guy who's been the best bat in your lineup on an everyday basis, and he's just in there every other day, and that's way too. It's not enough at all for a team that needs a spark.
I mean, yeah, Drake Baldwin's great. He's got an 880 OPS right now. I mean, as a rookie, that's a pretty damn good guy to have in the lineup. In the top half of the lineup is really fine. I mean, leading off with Acuna, Drake Baldwin, Austin Riley, Matt Olson. I mean, Marcelo Ozuna. That whole group is producing. Matt Olson, I am concerned about. It feels like he might be on the decline a little bit. Now seeing him almost 32 years old. His stats have kind of gone down each of the last couple of years. So there is a little bit of fear in that, but there's time. But you can't have Spencer Strider going out there and with almost a 6 ERA. He has got to pull it together. I still am questionable at what the hell is going on with Grant Holmes. Like, this was a weird move to me, deciding to put him in as one of your key fixtures in the rotation. I mean, this is a guy that was never like, he didn't have a pedigree coming up. He was primarily not a starter earlier in his career. Putting him in a spot that you have to get production from is a little leery. Now, granted, he's been okay, not great, but Atlanta needs another frontline starter. I mean, you've got Chris Sale, and you need a solid number 2 right now. Grant Holmes is not the guy that I would want to rely on as a number 2.
Schwellenbach is that number 2 for sure.
Schwellenbach had a couple weird games, but his last 2 have been unbelievable. Like 2 of the best games I've seen.
That's where I was going to go to next. Is his last 2 games have not been great. Like, and maybe Strider pulls it together. He's just coming back from injury still, so like maybe I don't need to be jumping off the cliff. But
Strider's fastball velo is down over 2 miles an hour so far from 2 seasons ago. Was a stat that I saw, and that's concerning.
That's common, though, after TJ. So
exactly, and but his advanced numbers aren't good, but he's still getting a lot of swing and miss. And I think it's only a couple starts. You got to give him time, because he may not be the Cy Young best player in the league he was a couple of years ago, but he could absolutely be I would think within a couple weeks, there's a good chance he rounds into form where he starts looking more like that number 2 guy at a minimum in a rotation. And I don't know, the Grant Holmes and Bryce Elder portion of it is kind of going to be the area where, because now Bryce Elder is going to be in the rotation every turn as well, because of the
Holmes was probably expected to be the number 5,
right?
So I'm being a little hard
with Ronaldo Lopez.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was going to go next. Is I was probably going a little hard on the front office with the rotation, because you had Lopez and Smith-Shawver go down with injuries. Mm-hmm. If you have those 2 guys in the rotation, I mean, it looks a lot better because you don't have Bryce Elder in there. You've got Holmes toward the back of the rotation, not taking up a mid part of the rotation. But where I will hammer the freaking organization again is on Jurickson Profar. This is a guy you gave a big contract to, who outside of really 2 years with the Padres, and they weren't consecutive, his career has been very mediocre. His career WRC plus is 99, and that is being boosted big time by his 2024 with San Diego. But prior to that, I mean, you're looking at in 2023, it was a 78, 2021 an 87. I mean, this is a league average to a below league average hitter for the majority of his career, and you give him a big contract to anchor down left field? Come on.
You can't predict him getting suspended for 80 games,
but you can predict that he's not been a productive hitter for the majority of his career.
I agree it was a bad contract. I think hindsight is very 2020 with him. Was it an overpay? 100%. Does it look atrociously terrible now? 100% it does, but that's just things change. I don't know. I feel like you can definitely be frustrated with the front office, but I think some of that frustration stems from the suspension as well, which isn't their fault.
And I don't think bringing him in was like, okay, this guy is going to win us the chip this year. Like we already have a team that can win a championship. We just need somebody who isn't going to lose us games. And he did that without really touching the field, which is like, again, like you can't predict something like that happening. But anytime I see people getting nabbed for PEDs and they're doing this, oh, I thought it was something else. There's got to be a trainer or an agent that needs to be spoken to by the front office, because either he's straight up lying to you and you should know your players better than that to let them like gallivant off into like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go do some PEDs today. If it is like I was getting my hair cut and he put some steroid cream on it because he cut me a la Tatis, then like we need to talk to someone because he's not making smart decisions or somebody in his inner circle is taking advantage of him. You can't predict that kind of stuff, but like that needs to be a very serious conversation. And somebody said earlier tonight about the vibes feel weird with Brian Snitker right now. Like with the punishments and vocality, and some players are getting chastised for doing things, but some players are allowed
the
to.
Inconsistency with Jared Kelenic incident earlier in the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to Profar, I'm looking at his Fangraphs page right now. Last year he had a 4.3 WAR season. Outside of that, the highest WAR production he's ever had was a 2.4.
He was a bust up until like.
So everybody had to know. I mean, you look at him and it's like it's an outlier season. It's not going to continue. Like I can't hammer that deal enough because that's really going to be an anchor on the franchise now moving forward. Made no effort to sign Max Fried to an extension.
That one hurts, especially with how dominant he's been this year. That's
Totally.
one of those where, man, you could really use him right now.
And a team that like if you end up doing well, you're probably going to meet in the finals, and losing to a guy in game 7 when you didn't re-sign him 11 months ago is a painful thing to do.